Hello, Greg Christopher here, and for this video tutorial, there are two topics to be covered, the abstraction and the encapsulation. So I'm going to discuss the basics of abstraction in Java. As for the encapsulation, that will be discussed by Andrick Aladano. So these two topics are part of the four pillars of OOP or Object-Oriented Programming. So this is the tutorial flow. Here are the things that I'm going to discuss. Number one, what is abstraction? Number two, what is an abstract class? Number three, how are we going to implement abstract methods? And lastly, I will show a sample code of abstraction using abstract class. Now first, let us define what is abstraction. So abstraction is a process of hiding certain details and showing only essential information of the user. Basically, it's a process of taking away or removing characteristics from something in order to reduce it to a set of essential characteristics or essential information. I will show an example later on. Abstraction can be achieved with either abstract classes or interfaces, but the code that I'm going to demonstrate later uses abstract class, okay? Because the important thing here is for you to know the very concept of abstraction. And a good real-life example for abstraction is, suppose you are driving a car, and so when you are driving at the time, you only need to know about the basic functionalities of the car, like how steering works and all. And as a user of the car, you are not going into much detail about the internal working or internal functionalities of the car, right? So same also in the case of programming, there are some information which is not part or important for users. So that kind of information is made private or hidden by the programmers. So in short, abstraction is a mechanism with the help of which programmers hide the unnecessary details from the users. So only the essential ones are shown, okay? Now let us define abstract class and abstract method. An abstract class, a restricted class that cannot be used to create objects. To access it, it must be inherited from another class, basically from the subclasses. An abstract method can only be used in an abstract class, and it does not have a body because the body is provided by the subclass inherited from. So I'm just giving you the definition of what is abstraction, what is abstract class, what is abstract method, and you will not understand much of these terms unless I'll show a sample code. What I'm about to show you now is some sort of blueprint of what I am going to demonstrate later for the sample code. So we have here the abstract class animal and the two subclasses, the class pig and the class bird. Again, when we say abstract class, it is a restricted class that cannot be used to create objects, meaning it cannot be instantiated. So for you to access the abstract class, you need to inherit from another class. That's why we have the subclasses, the class pig and the class bird. And we have the keyword extends, which indicates that the certain class will inherit from another. So basically, the class pig will inherit the methods and attributes from the class animal. That's why we have to use the keyword extends. And when we say inheritance, since I have already mentioned inherit, it is an OOP technique used to inherit attributes and methods from one class to another. That's the inheritance. So now let's proceed to the IDE to demonstrate a sample code for the abstraction with an abstract class. Okay, so I'm here in the IDE and I have four classes here. We have the main class, the animal class, or which is an abstract class, and the two subclasses, the class pig and the class bird. So don't be confused, this is just in split view or split window, so that it would be easy for you and also for me to see the codes. So all these classes are under the package abstraction. So you can see it from the left. I have here the package abstraction and the four classes. Now let's look into the abstract class animal. Since this is an abstract class, we can implement the abstract method. Earlier in the blueprint, we have abstract void make sound. So let's add that one. Say abstract void make sound. So as you can see, it does not have a body. Also, looking into the subclasses, we already have encountered some error. because it says here that the type pig must implement the inherited abstract method animal makes sound. So again, if you can still remember, an abstract method does not have a body, which should be provided by the subclasses. So what we are going to do for that is to inherit the method and provide the body. So let's just put void make sound and provide the body. Since this is a pig, we could put the pig makes sound oink. And also let's copy this one to the bird. So let's change that into tweets because the bird makes the sound tweet. So let's save that one, and going to the main class, we can instantiate the class pig and the class bird. So animal pig, new pig, then animal bird is equal to new bird. And then we can call the methods. Sound. Okay, let's save that one and run the code. So as you can see in the console, we have here the oink and the tweet. So if you want to add more methods, you can just put another abstract method here. Abstract boy, let's try color. Color, and then we will encounter another error because we have to do it again to inherit the method. So void color, then provide the body. So the color of the pig is pink, right? And let's just copy this one and then paste it into the bird class, and the color of the bird is blue. Let's save that one, and then since we have implemented the methods here, we can call that one here to the main class. So pig that, as you can see, it will suggest all the methods that you can use. So color, and then for the bird, that color. Save and then run the code. Okay, so we have here in the console, we have the oink, tweet, and the color, the pink and the blue. So that's it for the abstraction.
Hello, I am Andrick Aladano, and I will be talking about encapsulation. Encapsulation is one of the four pillars of object oriented programming, and basically it means information hiding. It is called encapsulation because it is like taking a multivitamin capsule. You know that there's multiple vitamins inside the capsule, but you don't know how it is implemented inside. Why exactly would you use encapsulation instead of the standard coding of making an object? Encapsulation, it makes it easier for the user to manipulate multiple variables by making methods like setters and getters. So those two methods will be most likely 99% of how you make an encapsulation in object-oriented programming. So without further ado, let's make some classes. And for encapsulation, you need to make two classes. The first class will be the one that contains the setters and getters, and then the second class is the main class. So for the setters and getters, so let's just name this, how about let's do this about cars. So let's type the name car, finish. Let's make another class. Let's name this the main class, and let's include public static void main string arg, since that's what the standard is. So in creating, when we're making an object, of course it contains attributes. So in the class car, we need attributes that would relate it to a car. So for example, let's make string car brand, and let's make it simple with string car color. And so basically, the class car contains two attributes, which are car brand and car color. So the next part is, since we're making an encapsulation, we need to make the setters. The setters basically is just like a variable equals its instance. So for example, if we would make it like car brand or string car brand is equal to Toyota. So that's basically it, setters. But we won't be using those equal signs. Instead, we'll be using a line of code for setters, which is like this: public, skip the static because we're making an object, void because we aren't returning anything, and let's name this set car brand, and let's input the parameters, which is string new car brand. And what we'll put inside here is the string car brand equals new car brand. And that's it. That's how we make a setter. Now for the next one, let's make a setter for car color also. Public void set car color. The parameters are string new car color. And similar to the car brand, let's do car color is equal to the new car color. And there we have our setters, but we're still not done because we still need our getters. So when we set these variables in the main class, we can also get the variables because these methods are return type void, which means that it returns nothing. So let's set our getters, or write our getters. And in writing getters, it's also very simple. You just write public string, the data type, get car brand. So this is for the car brand, and all you need to write here is return car brand. So after setting a variable or a name for the variable car brand, you can use this method get car brand to return the new car brand name. So let's make one for the car color as well. Public string variable type get car color, return car color. So that's basically it for our car class. So let's move on to our main class. In our main class, we call the car class here by doing this: car c is equals to new car. Basically that means we're calling class car and naming it c. So let's use c. Now as you can see here, you can see all the methods available and also the methods that we wrote which are the setters and getters. So let's use those. First, let's use the set car brand. So for example, we're setting this car brand relatively close here in Asia, which is and popular, which is Toyota. Let's also set the color. Let's set it to matte beige, which is a rare color but looks clean. Since we've already set the variables, it's time to call them with our getter methods. And we can do that by simply typing system.out.println c.get car brand and system.out.println 1 for get car color. So that should be it, and the result should show us Toyota and matte beige. So let's run, and there we go. Easy. So basically, in the car class, we set up setters and getters. Here are also the variables for the class, and we didn't need it for in the main class. And one thing also to add for encapsulation is that the variables can be set to private. Even though the variables here are private, since you've made setters and getters for these variables, in the other class you can still use it properly. And that's the main use of the encapsulation basically. So another addition is we can add private int this time for car plate number, or let's just use car number. Let's make another setter for that. Public void set car number, and let's put the data type, which is an int new car number. Car number equals new car number, and another one in getters. Let's put space there. Public int get car number, return car number. So since we've added this, we can also add another one. C dot, or actually let's just put it beside here along with the other ones. C dot set car number. Let's input car plate number random 1 2 3 4 5 6 and call the method, which is a get car number. Run, and there we go. So that's basically it. The implementation of encapsulation. So again, how is it important? Where would you use it instead of the standard instantiation of a variable? Just like what I said earlier, it makes coding more convenient for the user, as well as opens the option to hide information from the user to make it less confusing. So for example, this encapsulation was actually used in my previous course or class or subject, and it made the code that was being sent by our teacher a lot easier to understand, because he just instructs us to edit the setters and to call in the method getters if we want it in the main class. So yeah, that's it basically. I hope that you understood encapsulation and made it less intimidating, because it truly was for me when I first learned about it. So, yeah, thank you for watching.